Hello, I'm a retired general. Welcome to my channel. I'm here because what you see on the news tells you what is happening. I'm going to tell you what it means, as someone who has read intelligence assessments and been inside decision-making rooms. One more thing before we begin. This channel uses its revenue to fund student scholarships. If you subscribe, like, and comment, you are directly supporting that mission. Please hit subscribe now and turn on notifications. Now let's get into it. Iran has a new supreme leader, 57-year-old Mojtaba Khamenei. His father, Ali Khamenei, was killed in the opening wave of U.S.-Israeli strikes on February 28, the first day of Operation Epic Fury. After 34 years, one of the most consequential tenures in the Islamic Republic's history, ended in an airstrike. The Assembly of Experts, Iran's 88-member clerical body, with sole constitutional authority to choose a supreme leader, interrupted state television to announce consensus had been reached. One member added a single word not in earlier drafts: decisive. In diplomatic language, that word means the decision is made and the announcement is coming. Who is Mojtaba? He operated quietly in the background while his father was alive, but holds deep institutional ties to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Western intelligence describes him as more hardline, more ideological, and more militant than his father. And here is the detail that reframes everything. According to an assembly member speaking to Al Jazeera, the candidate was chosen based on the late Khamenei's own dying instruction. His successor should be someone, in his own words, hated by the enemy. Now let's pause, because behind this selection there is something Trump does not know or does not want to acknowledge. I'll explain that in a moment. Trump, I have to be involved. This appointment made Trump furious, but his position had been extraordinary for weeks. Last Thursday, in an Axios interview, Trump said, "Khamenei's son is a lightweight. I have to be involved in the appointment, like with Delcy Rodriguez in Venezuela." On Sunday, after Mojtaba was named, Fox and Friends host Brian Kilmeade said he spoke with Trump by phone. The president's full public statement on Iran's new supreme leader was 4 words: "I am not happy." Earlier on ABC News, before the formal announcement, Trump had added, "He's going to have to get approval from us. If he doesn't get approval from us, he's not going to last long." A sitting American president stating publicly that a sovereign nation's head of state requires his personal approval. International lawyers called this legally unprecedented. Even John Bolton, Trump's former national security advisor, said on Fox Business, "Trump's demand is not irrational. The problem is saying it publicly gave the hardliners exactly the ammunition they needed to justify choosing the person we least wanted." So while Trump was drawing lines on camera, what was actually happening on the ground? You're about to see why Russia changed the entire calculation, and why that matters more than anything said in Washington this week. Putin's move: satellites and 6 dead Americans. Day 8. One sentence defines this day above all others. The Washington Post, CNN, Reuters, NBC, and AP, 5 organizations, 4 separate intelligence officials, all confirmed the same thing. Russia is providing Iran with targeting intelligence to attack American forces. Not arms, not money. Targeting intelligence, real-time locations of U.S. warships, aircraft, and military assets. A CNN source described it precisely. Much of the intelligence Russia has shared with Iran has been imagery from Moscow's sophisticated constellation of overhead satellites, the same systems Russia uses in Ukraine to locate Ukrainian military positions, same orbital passes, same capability, now tracking American ships and planes in the Persian Gulf. One U.S. official described the operation to the Washington Post with a phrase that should be on every front page: "It does seem like it's a pretty comprehensive effort." Comprehensive, not occasional, not incidental. A sustained, deliberate Russian operation to help Iran find and kill American service members. On Sunday, March 1st, an Iranian drone struck Port Shuaiba in Kuwait. No warning, no siren. It flew in low, evading radar, and hit a makeshift operations center directly. 6 Americans died. An internal army memo confirmed Iran had surveilled that facility before the strike. The surveillance is documented. The intelligence sharing is confirmed by 4 independent sources. The direct link between Russian satellite data and those 6 deaths has not been officially established yet. What the Army investigation finds next may close that gap. Stay with me on this. Bushehr and the nuclear question. Russia also moved on the ground. Rosatom, Russia's state nuclear corporation, has prepared evacuation plans for personnel at Iran's Bushehr nuclear plant. Rosatom CEO Alexei Likashev stated, "Buses and evacuation routes have been prepared to take between 150-200 staff to safety in the pause between the strikes. 39 Russian nationals remain. Putin," Likashev said, "is personally involved in ensuring their safety." Bushehr contains 72 metric tons of nuclear fuel and 210 metric tons of spent fuel. It is Iran's only operational nuclear plant. A direct hit or systems failure would mean a regional contamination event. On March 13, the CTBTO is expected to release its full seismic analysis of an anomalous underground event recorded 8 months ago, an event that may or may not have been a nuclear test. If that report confirms a nuclear detonation, Iran's new supreme leader doesn't just inherit a war, he inherits a nuclear state. Every calculation in this conflict becomes instantly obsolete. Almost no analyst is saying this out loud yet. I am. The numbers in Hormuz. U.S. Central Command has struck more than 3,000 targets and destroyed 43 Iranian warships since February 28. Israel claims 2,500 strikes and 80% of Iran's air defenses destroyed. Iran launched its 23rd wave of strikes yesterday. The Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's daily oil supply moves, is 90% closed. Brent crude surged 24% this week. Oil hit $91 a barrel. U.S. gas prices jumped 43 cents in a single week, the largest weekly increase since March 2022. Qatar's energy minister warned Gulf exports could halt entirely within weeks, triggering a global supply chain reaction. The map. Iran bombed. Lebanon bombed, 200 killed there. Gaza burning. 6 Gulf nations absorbing Iranian missiles. Americans dead in Kuwait. British B-1 bombers flying from RAF Fairford. Iran has warned Europe, allow U.S. bases and you become a target. Trump said unconditional surrender or continued bombing. Iran's IRGC declared all U.S. and Israeli bases across the region are primary targets and will face powerful strikes. Trump told the public 4 weeks. The Pentagon is internally planning through September. The 6 Americans who died in Kuwait, including Sergeant Declan J. Cody, 20 years old, from West Des Moines, Iowa, died in a conflict Congress never voted on. And the question almost no one is asking, if CTBTO confirms a nuclear test on March 13, the new supreme leader takes power as the head of a nuclear state. Every red line in this region gets rewritten overnight. I'll break that down the moment the report drops. I'm opening the floor. 2 questions are sitting with you right now. First, is unconditional surrender a realistic war aim or a demand that makes any exit impossible? A country launching its 23rd strike wave after 80% of its air defenses are gone is not calculating surrender. Second, Russia's satellite intelligence long game or a move that has permanently poisoned whatever was left of U.S.-Russia back channels. When Peter Doocy asked Trump directly about Russian intelligence helping Iran kill Americans, the president said, "What a stupid question that is to be asking at this time." 6 Americans were coming home in flag-draped coffins that same day. I want your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Trump's unconditional surrender line ends this war faster or makes it impossible to end? What is Russia's actual calculation here? And if March 13th confirms a nuclear test, how does everything change? Let's think through this together. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave your take below. The scholarship program link is in the description. Your engagement makes it possible. I'll see you in the next update.